Hello, Canadian wine lovers.
House Club members, Canadian wine lovers.
Woo!
This was a surprise to me as well. What an intro. Mira Boucher, everyone across the country. Welcome. Good Wednesday. It's happy hour wine Wednesday. Mira, you did a great job. Oh my God, this is
Thank you.
brilliant. Wow, I didn't expect that at all. Oh, how are you doing today?
Doing great, great,
Doing
great,
great.
great. You know what? Like,
Canadian wine lovers.
Woo! Feedback.
that was Instagram. Sorry. Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
good. It's good. You know what? Like, we had like a week there where it was pajamas, where it was the holidays, and now it's back to reality, isn't it?
Oh, real true reality. Before we start, I want to say hi to everyone on Instagram. And
Yes.
yeah, this is now, it's a thing. Carl's Wine Club. Every time we're live, we go live. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, the whole 9 yards. So StreamYard rocking. So yeah, Instagram, everyone, all the winery owners, all of the wine lovers on Instagram, we welcome you to the Wednesday Wine Happy Hour with Carl's Wine Club. She is Mira. I am Carl, and we're passionate about Canadian wine. So welcome to the show. That's what we do. We talk exclusively Canadian wines. We taste a boatload of Canadian wines every week. We feature Canadian wines, Canadian wineries, and today we are going to talk about mostly about our top 10. A couple days ago, I don't know, on the New Year's Eve. I don't know which day we are. Mira just talked about like
I
getting
think it's
back to
Wednesday. I'm pretty sure, right, guys? It's Wednesday. It'd be
it's
pretty funny
Wednesday
if we do
today,
one
yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah. But when
on a
did we
Thursday?
do our top 10? I don't know. I know it was New Year's Eve, but I can't remember which day it was. But yeah. Yeah, cheers. Like woohoo.
Cheers. I got so many glasses already. I'm just lining them up, lining them up.
Oh,
I'm
you know
keeping
what?
the
I got
order,
an
though,
extra
because-
one. I had one that you don't have, so
Ooh, because are these a blind taste for me, Carl?
sure. Absolutely.
Do I have to
Absolutely.
guess?
We have two wine. Well, the three wines in front of you have not been tasted yet.
Okay.
Okay. There's two Maverick and one none. So there's two Maverick and one Ontario. You have to find the Ontario wine. And when you tell me which wine is the Ontario, we'll talk about what it is, okay? Because this is a surprise. This is something unique. This is something that's not available yet. And I'm pretty darn freaking excited.
That's exciting.
Okay. Because yeah, we're
So I
gonna
have
talk
to
about
tell
the
you
top
what? I have
10.
to tell you which one's Ontario
Yeah.
or which one's the new one.
The new one is the Ontario one. So same thing.
There you go. I was just replying to someone on Insta. So
Okay. So today we're talking about our top 10, our 5 honorable mention, and our top 3 value wines. So the 18 wines that we are highlighting, the highlight of our 2023 out of a 1,200 wines tasted from January to December 23rd. We tasted a shitload of wines, around 1,200.
Definitely.
And we came up with the top 18. Okay, so 10 top 10, 5 honorable mention, 3 top value. And after that, we're going to talk about Maverick Estate Winery, because we have to talk about Maverick because we are going to feature Maverick next week. And you know what? We haven't tasted Maverick in 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? The new stuff that we're tasting. The new stuff that we're tasting, it's freaking incredible, okay? One of them, that things that I tasted before Christmas, if I hadn't opened that bottle of Cab Syrah, it wouldn't have been on my top 10. I had Pearl Morissette at number 10, and this came up to the last wine of the year, that 2021 Cab Syrah, and the last wine tasted went on the list. So it's pretty incredible. Okay, so here, that made it. It's going to be in the feature next week. alongside of the new 2021 Bush Vine Syrah, alongside the 2020 Renegade, the Rubius, and we also tasted this on New Year's Eve. That's the 2014 Traditional Method Family Reserve Sparkling. I mean, I tasted 3 wines so far. And all of the 3 wines, 93, 93, 94. If it's not starting a year, the new year with the bang, I don't know what it is. Like, it's pretty freaking incredible. So, yeah. So that Ella family.
Here's the thing I noticed. Like, we were reading, Rick. Yeah, it was pretty special. And like we do with most of our wines, we drank it over like 2 days. And for a sparkling, wow, it did fantastic on the second day. Wow.
Holy shit. Well, that's like the base wine is just so incredibly complex and bright and elegant. Oh my God. It was like, yeah, like I know it's the first sparkling that I tasted of 2024, but so far it's the top sparkling that I've tasted. Well, see, I'm pretty confident that that's going to be at the top of the list for a while. You know, the non-vintage Ella Brut Rosé is fantastic. It's a 91 point sparkling, but this is the big boy, 2014, 72 months on lease. So, yeah, that complexity, but it's not over the top brioche or it's not over the top breedy. It's so well balanced and there's so much finesse. But I don't want to talk too much Maverick to start because I want to recap the top 10 wine of the year. We had so much fun the other night on New Year's Eve, revealing our top 10 that I want to recap a little bit because it's not everyone who had the chance to join us. So.
Stop by. That's true. And there's new things too. I just want to say hi to some more people here. Daryl, Mike, the Average Wine Enthusiast on YouTube. Karen Chapman, Happy New Year. MJ is saying Syrah is a personal fave and not easy to find a good one here. By here, I assume she means Canada, but possibly, where's MJ? Ontario?
I believe that MJ is in Ontario. I believe.
Then you might be interested in this Ice Cellars, which we'll talk about very soon because it's our number 2.
Ice Cellar, but I know that MJ really, really likes the BC wines. So, and I know she's gonna love the Maverick Bush Vine 2021 because it's not at the level, the 94 points of the Bush Vine 2019, but geez, right at the same level of the 2020, and we're talking like right at that same like super top end. Again, $35. This is not a $75 Syrah that Bush Vines. It's a $35 Syrah. So big difference. But we have one of the Syrah in our top 10. More premium, more expensive, but 95 plus points. The best wine. The second best wine tasted all year long. So how do you want to do that, boss? You tell me. Do we want start with the value and honorable mention? Yeah. Of course, go Ravens, go right here, buddy. Right here, Daryl Palmer. And wearing securing the first seed in the NFC, top team in the NFL. So boom, riding high, buddy, riding high.
There'll be quite a celebration around here, in the coming weeks, hopefully.
Hopefully we can hold on. If not, I love that. So let's combine joy for football because the playoffs are just around the corner and great Canadian wine tasting because there's so much great thing coming up with us at Carl's Wine Club. There's so much in the pipeline, bunch of events, bunch of new concepts. So there's a lot going on. So we're looking forward for a very, very fun and busy 2024. So let's cheers to that, Mira. Cheers to you and me and our 12 or 10,000 members all across the country. On voudrait dire un beau bonjour à notre monde en français également. Tous nos amateurs de vin francophones de la belle province, des provinces, des régions francophones de partout au Canada, un beau bonjour. On vous souhaite un bon 2024. J'espère que tout le monde a eu un beau temps des fêtes. C'est de retour à la réalité. On est de retour. Aujourd'hui, on va faire la récapitulation de notre top 10, incluant nos 5 mentions honorables et nos 3 vins de valeur incroyable, les QPR, comme on appelle. Donc, on va parler de toute cette belle sélection-là. On va aussi parler de Maverick Estate Winery, qui sera notre première feature la semaine prochaine. On a 9 vins de Maverick. Et déjà, j'en ai goûté 3. 2 vins de 93 points puis un vin de 94. On va commencer l'année avec un grand bang pour tout le monde au pays. Donc, Maverick qui s'en vient la semaine prochaine, on va en parler un petit peu plus en fin d'épisode. Bonsoir à Jean-Denis, à tout notre monde de la région de Québec.
Et moi aussi, j'ai commencé de parler plus en français, right?
Alors, c'est la grosse mode à la maison, mon homme, présentement. Là. Moi, plus vieux qui s'en va à Paris au mois d'avril, ma blonde qui a recommencé à parler en français, le plus jeune qui veut apprendre le français. Fait que là, on est bien parti. Là. 2024, c'est l'année du français dans la maison. Fait qu'on va essayer d'en faire pas mal plus pour vous autres aussi, nos amateurs de vin francophones. Puis pourquoi pas aller vous voir à Québec ou allez vous voir à Montréal pour des beaux événements de Carl's Wine Club. Fait qu'on travaille là-dessus en espérant qu'on soit capable de mettre de quoi ensemble puis être capable de voyager all the way. Your way, JD. Your way. En passant une coupe de belles signatures des Red Sox qu'on a commencé à aller chercher une coupe de bras pour le camp d'entraînement. Fait que, OK. Now, a little bit of baseball for Jean-Denis and I, right? So a little bit of football with Daryl, a little bit of baseball with JD. Now, let's talk about wine.
I need to start like a Mira hobby that I pair with wine. I don't know what it is.
Why not? Why not? Why not? You know what? From now on, I'm going to start tasting wine and rating wines during Ravens games. So you'll see if their wines rated 72 points, that means we're losing the game. And if there's a bunch of 100 points, that means no bad. Okay, not a good idea. Okay, let's get back to basic. Let's get.
You know what? You know what? It should maybe be like Mira's wine and dance party.
Wow.
Remember, I visualize wine like a shape almost, you know? So from that to a dance, I mean, so I could drink a wine and tell you what kind of dance it goes with.
That's the best part of it. That's the best part of it. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Anyway, okay, we get the best ideas when we're sipping wine with you guys live. I mean,
absolutely. So I have the wild side here in my glass. That's the one you don't have. So I promise Fred DiProprio, winemaker at Bellaterra, but also owner of Fred Wines, who so he made that fantastic the wild side. I have to show you here. So this is from Niagara-on-the-Lake. The guy that you see here, Fred, he's Fred, and this is his 2022. It's called the Wild Side. This is 85% Riesling with some Viognier in there. There might be, I'm not sure if there's anything else in Viognier and Riesling, but very heavy on these two. Maybe a tad of Muscat, if I remember correctly, but not 100%. I tasted the first time this summer when we were out there, and Fred brought a bottle at the rental house that we had on the golf course, and I truly enjoyed that. So I give this wine a 90 plus. Okay, and there's a few reasons here. It's a 90 plus point. There's a great texture. Texture is fantastic. A little thicker. It's a 30 gram of residual sugar, so a little bit of sweetness, but there's a bright acid, and there's some body into it because the Viognier bring extra texture So there's a lot going on in there. There might be some botrytis affected as well. So lots of richness on the palate. I love that wine.
So if
Go
you
ahead,
don't know
Mira.
botrytis affected, I got to learn because when we were picking grapes at Black Market Wine Co. in Caledon a couple years ago, there was a teeny bit of botrytis in their vineyard. It's like something that affects the vines, but it's actually considered a good thing. It just makes the wines a little bit more like, it dries them out a little bit in certain little patches, and it can make them a little bit more rich and sweeter a little bit, or more concentrated a little bit. It's really
Don't
interesting.
tell
It's almost
anyone,
like a
but it's
natural
basically a mold. It's basically a mold.
Appassimento. It's like a
Yeah.
mold, yeah. It kind of shrivels up the grapes a little. Speaking of Appassimento,
Well, I
Anyway.
mean, you have one of them. One of them is in front of you, and you need to find which one. So
I can tell you right away. That's how good I've gotten. From beginner to can tell you which one's Appassimento. See?
There you go. There you go.
I can tell you
Oh,
it's the
you're
one on the
rocking.
right. Right?
Probably
one-
the one with very thick leg. The one with the very thick leg. When you swirl
Very
it, and you
thick,
get.
very aromatic, lots of violet.
Yeah, there's also a bunch. There's also definitely a richer texture, and
Texture is like, and it reminds me, like, it's definitely distinctive. Oh, and that's good. Holy crap, that's good.
it's made by Fred as well. So Fred made
Red in
that.
Tokyo.
Okay, and I got challenged by the Bellaterra office this morning to find the blend. So they didn't want to tell me what exactly was in there. So I know for a fact there's it's mostly Cap Franc, but there's like, okay, to tell us if there's anything else, maybe Merlot, Cap Sauv, or whatever, maybe can be. So I don't know. I haven't tasted yet, but
Freaking
this
spectacular.
has just been labeled. It was just bottled like a month or so ago. So it's still in apparently there might be a little bit of bottle shock. We'll see. That's going to be released to Wine Club members exclusively in the next few months. We don't know exactly when. Bellaterra is going to keep their...
They would not say anything. It was...
yeah, maybe I should stop because Marcel told me to just shut it and just taste it and tell him if it was good. So I haven't yet.
Really
Mira's the first. So Mira, you tell me. Well, after Lou and Marcel, because during Christmas season, like, let's say what? Around the 15th of December, these two bozos out in Niagara, they had a lunch, a Christmas lunch. And you know what Christmas lunch can turn out sometimes, right? They call me at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, their time, and they are having fun. And they're showing me a bottle with no labels that they just keep telling me, you need to taste that, you need to taste that. So they finally labeled it and sent a bottle over. So we're going to taste it tonight. That's tonight.
Woo!
Now we're going to taste it. And but before, let's get to our top 10, or let's get to our, okay, let's get to a quick little recap because, I mean, it's a full year in review. We spent so much time tasting wines in 2023 that we really want to, we want to share with you. You probably received our email that we sent today. There's a mystery pack available. There's also special request available, and there's a ton, but I wanted to go to it. So if you are listening, you want to ask a question, or you want to just listen of what we've done, this is the right time. So top 10, only one producer for the top 10 in the honorable mention. The reason why, it would be very freaking boring to have 4 Batchelors, 3 Maverick, and 4 Ice Cellar. I mean, we want to showcase the diversity of our country because we produce so many great wines, but there's so many producers who produce fantastic wines. So at the moment, like, I choose one producer. Let's see if Thomas Batchelor has produced 3 wines rated high enough to be in the top 10, only their top is going there. Okay, make sense? Hopefully. So
Okay, this Appassimento is so freaking good that I
Oh
have
yeah.
to go get some dark chocolate and I have to go get a glass of water.
Okay, well I'll let you do that, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna
Start
start with
talking about wines. Yeah.
our top three value wines of the year, because the toughest thing that we do in what we do, because this is the best job in the world, right? We have created for ourselves the absolute best job in the world. We live on the lake in the Okanagan, and we taste wines, and we showcase the best winery in Canada, and we interview some of the most amazing winemakers. But one really, really hard thing to do is to go out and source fantastic value wines. To my opinion, it's quite easy to find and to source fantastic $50 wines or $70 wines or $100 wines. Now, it's much harder to find $100 wine who delivers for 100. That's a completely different story. But again, the wines under $20 are now in 2023 or 2024 now, it's a rare breed. It's something that it's not common. So our job is to get out there and try to find these value wines. So this year we had a few great examples coming from mostly from Ontario, because Ontario, especially Niagara, are more volume. They have bigger estates, and it's a little easier for them to produce enough quantity to be able to keep a price point at a lower price point, but that's still very high quality. So, but our top value wines from BC though, but not from the Okanagan. So let's flip it and let's go number three. Our number three top value wine of the year is from Vineland Estate. The 2021 Vineland Cabernet Franc. 21 or 22. Mira's going to tell me when she comes back. She have the list right there ready for you guys. So $15.95. I'm not joking. $15.95. There you go. 2022 Vineland Estate Cab Franc. When we did Cabernet Franc Day, again, like Brian sent us a box with a bunch of different Cab Franc. This was in. Tasted that with absolutely zero expectation and blew my socks off, because at that price, and guess what? This week, it's on sale with $13.95. That's pretty freaking insane. So you can get your ass on their website and take a look at it. And if you feel like buying a case, go ahead. I put my stamp of approval on that. This wine over deliver big time. So 90 plus points for the 2022 Vineland Cab Franc. An absolute beauty for the price. Number two is the Bellaterra Cab Merlot 2021 vintage. I mean, 1995. This wine at 92 points. This wine drinks like a $35 wine. Absolutely no doubt. 1995 tax in. So that's pretty freaking special. 1995 tax in. And right now, if you get a case of it, you pay for 11 bottles, and Bellaterra is going to give you the 12 exclusively with Carl's Wine Club. So this is an exclusive deal that we have with the Bellaterra crew. Buy 11, get the 12, the number 12 for free shipping for the case. I mean, a crazy deal. And the wine, it's stunning wine. I mean, I give it 92 points. It was my top value wine of the year until I realized the 93-point Chardonnay that we tasted during our Chardonnay marathon, which is the 2020 Living Land series from Monte Creek, a Chardonnay. I mean, at $22, and back then I think it was 20 during the summer. This is not 2019, it's 2020, it's 2020, but that's not a big deal. I mean, it was mind-boggling. I mean, this wine was blind. We were tasting it in the middle of $100 Chardonnay, and this wine was keeping his all, was scoring as high as some of the $70 Chardonnay. I couldn't believe it. And I thought that was a mistake of price point. But yeah. So Monte Creek, all of Kamloops from all the
Woo.
places. So Yep, Kamloops, BC, not from the Okanagan, but all of Kamloops. Monte Creek Chardonnay, the 2020 Living Land, is our top value wine of the year. In terms of red, you're looking for something.
So I
Go
want to
ahead.
say something about the top value, okay? Because we had a few members now reach out and say, hey, I would love a 12-pack full of the top value wines. Because we said, hey, we put together a few mystery packs, a few packs of these wines that, you know, some wineries have 12 bottles of this available or 6 of this. And we thought it'd get confusing. So we're going to make mystery packs for everyone. We'll just make sure the value is appropriate and put it all together for you. So surprise packs. Anyway, we didn't have enough of that Monte Creek because it's also sold out, that particular vintage. So we didn't put out a pack of the value wines, right? We put out the value case from Bellaterra where you buy 11, get the 12th free. It works out to like $18, including tax a bottle, which is amazing. But anyway, I want to say if you're interested in a value pack that's kind of a mixed pack from the different value wineries, then let us know. We've got a couple other members also interested, so we'll see if we can put together just a few. We're all about customization here, guys.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not allowed to say no. It's something that I'm not allowed to, so we're saying yes. So here is our top value wine of the year. There's other wines or showing amazing value that we tasted, like many from 13th Street, many from Lakeside Cellar here in Osoyoos, a lot from Mark Simpson at Mythology Vineyards, showing like tremendous value. Some of his wine at $24, $25. It's incredible, plus tax. But we had to go all the way to the extreme and find the top 3, and that's what I came up with. A Chardonnay, a Cab Franc, and a Cab Merlot. So here you go, Bellaterra, Monte Creek, and Vineland Estate. By the way, Vineland Estate, we're going to have a feature with Vineland in February, coming right up. So here we are. Now, our top or 5 honorable mention that we have, because you know what, having the top 10, it's hard enough that we had to keep it a little bit wider to it just gave us the chance to talk about more producers, because the gap between the number 6 and number 15, it's so tiny, it's so minimal, it's splitting hair. I mean, it's just absolutely so close that I didn't think from the very beginning, we didn't thought that only 10 was giving us enough to showcase everything we wanted to.
And I think there's a few factors at play. I mean, one is we complain that the price of Canadian wine has kind of been going up lately, just as everything else has. But part of that, I think, is also that we've got incredible experience in the industry coming forward. And so we're at this like golden age of Canadian wine where the vines are older, the winemakers are way more experienced than they were like 20, 30 years ago. And we're getting just like a critical mass in Canadian wine where we're seeing these phenomenal wines, more and more of them, right? And we understand
we understand our terroir much better too, so we know exactly what to plant and where, you know. So we have we have much better result, and our vines are getting much older too. So
more flavorful wines. So we were reading the Rick Van Sickle article. That's why I was mentioning it earlier. And he said, oh, interesting. Last year, his top wines of the year, he picked 22 last year, 23 or something. The total cost for last year's 22 bottles was $1,000. And this year was $1,500. So he was saying, wow, that's quite a jump. But I think that that's a big reason why. I think that those wines are earning their price points.
Well, it's not only that too. There's and for Rick he's doing it only with Niagara. So what's happening is the 2020s are getting released. Were released all through the year, and the 2020, especially Niagara on the Lake, They were known as the vintage of the century. Many wineries have produced a top premium wine on that vintage. That so require more new oak, require the top barrels and this and that. So the price points for top vintage like that usually gets the higher notch. There's that, and there's also the race for primatization, and that it's when we do consulting with winery, I'm a proponent of that. I love when wineries have the balls to say, you know what? I'm producing top freaking wines, and my wines are worth. I have a couple barrels who I believe that they're worth $100 a bottle. And more we see that, and there's a market for the top premium wine. And we've seen that with Legado, the Nobreza by Richard De Silva. We're seeing that with the X at Esther Creek. We're seeing that with the Milestone. The Milestone was sitting in the freaking cellar for years until he thought, okay, now I'm ready to release it, and it's so good that I think I'm going to go to 100. Like, so there's that race for primatization that,
and there's a real role for that, especially where, like, we have members that come to us and say, I don't want a wine under $100. And I remember when that happened a few times early in the club days, because Carl's previous wine club, I guess you could say, was a few hundred collectors in Calgary, and they would never want to try too many wines under $100 because they're collecting them, right? So they think, oh, but there's also special occasions where you want to send a very special kind of bottle that will go wow. So anyway, there's a real place for that, I believe, in Canadian wine. So far, only the very large corporate backed wineries have dared to go there, this plus $100 category. And I'm very proud of the smaller independent wineries for getting to that level too.
Yeah, no, so there's that, but also it's important also to mention it's not for everybody, and that's fine. That's fine. That doesn't mean that it's just because there's some who are moving from international wines and try to come to the top Canadian. So there's a space for that. So anyway,
I'm an equal opportunity wine drinker. So like, that means that, like, if it's like a $12 wine tax in and it's good, I will drink it. I will buy it. I will drink it. It will be great. If it's $120 and it's mind blowing, I will also buy it and drink it. Maybe not in high quantities, but there's a space for that in everybody's lives. It's just, and I like, that's why it's called the Milestone. Which is it bad to give them a what's it called when you ruin the end of a story? So we're talking about Milestone, and that is quite high in our wines of the year, if not the highest, right?
Well, I think pretty much everyone knows right now by now. Yeah. They all seen our posts on social media. They have lots of our listeners today were there on New Year's Eve. So yes, Milestone, it's our top wine of the year. I don't really feel guilty to have $125 of my top wine of the year, because you know what? No other wines have scored a 96 points this year. And keep in mind, I'm much harder on my review when the wine is at that price.
And we
plain
have
and simple, right? Because it has to deserve. It has to deserve that price point.
Where you were like, nope, I'm not talking about this wine because it's a great wine, but at that price point, I'm not willing to talk about it. Right? You said that. There's been at least 2 or 3 $100 plus wines that we've tasted where Carl was like, not talking about this one. It didn't earn its price point. No,
it's just because it's not worth it. I mean, you can charge $125 as much as you want, but if it's not worth it, I'm gonna fucking tell it. I'm not gonna promote a wine that it doesn't deserve its price point. Not at 125, not at 70, not at 40, and neither at 15. Plain and freaking simple. Plain and simple, no plain and simple.
Carl is a diehard.
So yeah,
But it's true, and I think that's important because, yeah, a wine like Sue Ann Steph, our winery of the year for Ontario this past year, she's amazing, and she always says a wine has to earn its price point, which is
absolutely.
very true, I think.
Absolutely. I've
Okay,
always been a
tell
big
us more.
proponent of that. So, okay. So there are 5 honorable mention from, there's no really any position, but there's 3 wines from BC, 2 wines from Ontario. There's a fortified wine here, the 2018 Holling Blanc Forbidden Blanc. It's a white port style from the 2018 vintage. I believe it's made with Semillon and Sauvignon. Mira, like we had a blast tasting that back in September or late August. It was the family treat for Christmas holiday. It was all over our the Christmas dinner table, the Christmas. There was Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. We had that. Fantastic. Fortified, soft and rich, but well balanced. There's a kick, there's everything in there, but there's a bright acid that I really, really like. So, Holling Blanc Forbidden Blanc was one of our honorable mention with 93 points. We also have at 93 points from, again, Vineland Estate. That's the only freaking wineries to have 2 listing and all that because they had one of the top value. But the 2022 Elevation Saint Urban Riesling was one of our wine at the Pan Canadian that we hosted at Bellaterra back in August. Yeah, a stunning Riesling. A hint of residual, wonderful flavor definition. This wine has character. These wines have some backbone. These wines has everything that you want to expect for a great Riesling, and I think it's something like $24 or $25. So please, any day of the week, give it to me. I love that. Great job, Brian Schmidt. And Brian is pounding the table saying that 2022 is a pretty freaking fantastic vintage who can compete with 2020. So we kind of have the big debate about it. But yeah, in terms of Riesling, absolutely. Mike, the average enthusiast, is saying, is anyone beside Carl's Wine Club drinking Canadian wines tonight? Oh, so Kettle Valley, eh? You get to you, 2017.
There we go. And I'm challenging Instagram to tell us also, and I will read them out. So
the other one, so 93 points for St. Urban Riesling. This wine is coming into our pack in February. So another one of our other honorable mention.
When we feature Vineland with the Great Value Pack in February.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So Teresa Santini here, owner at Mythology Vineyard with Mark Simpson, is drinking Seven Stone, a beautiful, I believe, Similkameen Valley. So great to have you on, Teresa. Hope you're doing well and you're having a good start of your year. Happy New Year to you. So Seven Direction from Bottega Wine Studio, the Rosé Master, Daniel Bonterin and his 2022 Tractor and Vines Pinot Noir Rosé. I mean, every year, Daniel makes some of the top premium and top wonderful rosé in Canada. He is the Rosé Master for a reason. The Tractor and Vines, which is a small single vineyard from Summerland. Focus, beautiful, super premium, well priced, everything you want for a delicate but really, really elegant rosé. You got in that. It's the top of the top year in and year out, and this year makes our honorable mention with 93 points. So well done, Daniel and Christine at Bottega Wine Studio. And the last honorable mention, but not the least, is from Pearl Morissette. It's the 2018. The 2018. Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I sure missed. You want to reach? You want to reach out for the ball? It's right next to you down there, so you can see the box there. If you can show us
I see it. I see it. Okay, yeah, I'm getting it.
Just getting it. It's the winemaker
Oh my God.
trilogy.
Mike,
What?
average wine enthusiast on YouTube. He's saying he had a bottle of Tractor and Vines Pinot Noir Rosé on New Year's Eve. It went great with stuffed artichoke. Isn't like artichoke one of the hardest things to pair with wine?
Yeah, because it's very fibery, like super fibery, and it's really, really hard. Like asparagus
There
is
you
hard,
go.
artichoke is really, really hard. But I mean,
So now you know what to pair it with. There you go.
I
Pinot Noir
mean,
Rosé.
that Pinot Noir Rosé will go well with anything because it's so freaking good. So plain and simple. So 2020 Hester Creek, the X winemaker trilogy. It's a red blend of a dominant Petit Verdot, Malbec, and this year is with Merlot. 250 cases made. This is a special project that Mark Hopley, the winemaker, is leading. It's the winemaker trilogy. It's going to be showcasing the latitude, the altitude, and the altitude. So the longitude, altitude, latitude. That's why the X, the Y, and the Z. So yeah, so it's all about terroir. It's about where the wine is come from. So look at that. It's, to me, it's a masterful marketing job. But as good as the marketing job is, as good as the juice in the bottle is. So I was so happy that the juice was as good as expected because it's easy to do. But it's easy. I mean, some of the wineries will do great job of doing great marketing, but the juice in the bottle doesn't match the marketing job. So this is it becomes a disappointment. The juice is as freaking top notch as the marketing is. And if you want to go on YouTube and Google Hester Creek winemaker trilogy, listen the 6-minute video that they make regarding the Hester Creek X. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, actually watching that video and then drinking the wine. By the way, if you get one at some point, I mean, they're only available in person right now or through us, but it comes like full of wine. But the only problem we found is that it gets emptied really fast. I don't know how, but anyway.
I guess so. It really happened. But I have to tell you a story about that because, you know, when you forget to put the cork back on the bottle fades pretty quick, right? Yeah. I forgot.
We woke up in the morning, like day 3 or something. I'm like, Carl, you left the cork, because Carl does all the work with the wines, right? Like, it's never my fault because because it's everything. I don't have to do anything, but which is great. Thanks, Carl. But yeah, it was like left uncorked. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're in the wine. Jeez, not only like overnight, like for like at least 12 or 15 hours, the wine was out with no cork, nothing on. I'm like, oh shit. And we tasted it, and the wine was still solid, as straight as an arrow. So this wine is a tank. Obviously, 65% Petit Verdot. You got structure and backbone right there. 25% Malbec as well, with a splash of 17% Malbec and 20% Merlot. So yeah, at that stage, it's a 2020. They just released it after 24 months in barrel. But I'm telling you,
year they release Y longitude,
which from the 2021, yeah.
Elevation. Yeah. So this one is X, the coolest thing ever. I mean,
yeah, and the Y will be blend of Petit Verdot, Malbec, and Syrah, and the Z will be a blend of Petit Verdot, Malbec, and Sangiovese. So yeah, and they're showcasing the purity of the grapes, the purity of their terroir, and it's absolutely incredible. So top premium. Now we're talking about that. Exactly what I was mentioning. That top parameterization at $110. But you know what? It's worth it. So,
It was. And like we said, we were very skeptical. We come in there like almost aggressive. Like, what is this $100 wine? They want to charge over $100. What is this? Is it really worth it? We come in there almost cranky. And this wine, the Milestone, I mean, they just instantly changed our minds. We were like, it's worth everything.
Absolutely. I'm totally I'm with you on that. And the last honorable mention, it's our 2018 Per Morissette Cuvée Madeleine. I mean, this is the top the second top Cap Franc that I've tasted this year. And it just happened like that this year, but I've tasted more Cap Franc than any other year. It's probably the varietals that we've tasted the most this year. Well,
along with probably Chardonnay, I would say, along with Chardonnay.
You're right. But yeah, so Cap Franc, the Stonebridge is part of our top 10, but this one at 94 plus, I mean, Per Morissette has their ups and their downs in the last few years. But I'll tell you one thing, that 2018 Cuvée Madeleine, absolutely off the chart, 94 points, and a lot of enjoyment when we tasted that. That's for our 5 honorable mentions. So all of these wines could have been all of them could have been on our top 10 almost. I mean, the difference, the margin, the gap in between is just so minimal that yeah, these are world-class wine and deserve a world-class shout-out. So congratulations to Hester Creek, Bodega Wine Studio, Pearl Morissette, Hauling Bluff, and another one. Vineland Estate. There you go. Thank you. So that's for our honorable mention. And let's go rapid fire for our top 10. Number 10. One of the wine that I was just talking about, it's the Maverick 2021 vintage, the Cab Syrah. And I will have to ask if I can tell the story, but apparently this wine was a mistake at the beginning.
So you're saying you'll have to ask, but right now whoever's here is hearing it. So
apparently this was a mistake.
We don't know.
That they sent the picker and the picker overpicked and the couple rows beside it where they were not supposed to, and they, with some Cabernet Franc, they picked couple rows of Syrah. And when they went to harvest, like the day after, they realized that it was 2 or 3 rows Syrah already gone, and they realized that it was already in the bin. For starting like cold soaking, so what they did the co-fermentation Cabernet and Syrah, and after that they add some extra Cabernet Sauvignon to blend it. So it's a blend of Cab Franc, Syrah, and Cab Sauv. I mean, this wine, like I said, it was the last minute addition because I felt that I really had to. It was so worth it of the top 10. Incredible. That's the wine that I opened just before our trip to Vancouver Island. I had the first day of tasting, so Mira and I a good portion. So we spent an hour or so digging into that, tasting it. We're like, oh my God, this is something unreal. Put the bottle in the luggage, and we took it to Vancouver Island. On Christmas Day, I had a Ravens game where the Ravens were playing in San Francisco against the 49ers, and we tasted the rest of the bottles. That moment was absolutely incredible. The wine was 4 days old in the bottle, and it showed so many things that I didn't get on the first time. The wine was not only very, very, very good, it was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah. So anyway, so it ended up to be part of our list because I felt like, yeah, it was much. The story is incredible, and the blend is fantastic. Cab Franc, Syrah, and Cab Sauv. So available starting on Monday here on our next offer. So yeah.
So I have to take a quick pause. This is the next one. Quick pause. I have to tell you something. Look at the levels of my wine glasses, okay? Just take a look. Okay, which one has the least? This one, right?
Yeah.
So I have to tell you something. You take a near 40-year-old, and I've already lost most of my inhibitions. I just, I say it like it is. And then I get a few sips of really good wines, and like all the inhibitions are gone. So now at this point, I will only pick up the glass that I feel called to pick up, that I want to pick up. And I have no inhibitions saying no to the other ones, even if they're good, So the one I keep picking up is this one. You can see it's almost gone. And it is the Appassimento.
There you go.
Right. And
you like it big and bold. I know you like it big and bold. You like it rich and complex.
Hey, I have tasted some Appassimentos that are too much for me, though. And this is not. All right. Let you go.
Can I tell you something? You're not going to pick up our other son at school after, because this Appassimento is 17% alcohol.
Oh, shoot. Okay. And I've already had sips.
Yeah. And I haven't tasted it yet because I'm geeking out on the middle one, who is freaking fantastic, which is the 2020 Renegade from Maverick, that I think is absolutely fantastic. So anyway, I haven't touched it. Yeah, you have the Rubius, and the Renegade in your glass. So telling you, this Maverick offer,
good too. It's just
I know.
Compared to this one,
I know. But I mean, I know that the Appassimento is absolutely right up your alley. So number 9, the 2022 Bella Ancestral Method Pommard Clone Pinot Noir. Bella is a sparkling house, very tiny, small producer. When I say tiny, I say tiny.
Bench, right? BC? Narromata Bench, BC? Yeah.
Narromata Bench. This is a 10 point.
They only make small batch sparkling. That's it.
Yeah. And that happened by mistake. One of our members brought that bottle as a thank you. And I mean,
I'll show you the picture when it happened.
Please.
There, right there. Look.
There you go. So we got Sam the Wine Teacher right there. We have Richard De Silva. We have one of our members. So that's a table full of Pinot Noir. And
Mike, the average wine enthusiast on YouTube, who is tuning in today.
Yeah, absolutely. So a very special afternoon of tasting, and someone brought that bottle, and I mean, the mousse of that wine is just incredibly unique. The softness of that sparkling wine was something that I've rarely felt before. I mean, it was a unique journey, one of the very unique that I had in all my years in my journey of Canadian wine. So.
Very special.
I knew that day that wine was going into our top 10. I knew it. And that's funny because I was talking with Rob Amersley months after, and he would say, Carl, do you remember that sparkling that we had? He's like, keep thinking about that. It tells you when people call you and say, do you remember this and this? Because it keeps popping in my mind. That's mean this has a heck of a impact on people. So yeah, that's very wine from Bella, Ancestral Method, Pommard Clone Pinot Noir, absolutely off the chart. Our number 9 at 94 points. Moving into number 8, it's one of our wines from the Pan-Canadian we hosted at Bellaterra in August. It's the 2019 Leaning Post Senchuk Single Vineyard Pinot Noir. I mean, everything Leaning Post. Elias Senchuk is an absolute wizard. Everything does he touch turn into incredible wines. This is from his home vineyard that he restored himself over 10 years ago, right from the Grimsby Hillside Vineyard, just between the Grimsby and the Ontario Lake. So prime, beautiful location. And yeah, now this vineyard grows Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and their wines are absolutely world-class, we've selected that very specific wine for the Pan Canadian because it was, to my opinion, one of the very best Pinot in Canada. So there you go, the 19-cent shot Pinot Noir, 94 points. Number 7, we are going with someone that if you listen to us, you could have called a shot that wine's going to be on the list. The 2021 De Silva Legato Chardonnay. It's probably the wine that I've tasted the most this year. I have had the De Silva Legato Chardonnay at least half a dozen times as tasters. This wine will age absolutely gracefully. This wine has so much potential. Last year, the 2016 Legato Chard made our list at number 3. When I've tasted the 2021, I thought that this wine had as much, or if not more potential than the 2016. So if you have some of this wine, or if you want some of this wine, put some aside, let it age. It's going to be one of the greatest Chardonnay that you've ever tasted in 5 years. So there you go. Now we're hitting into
another one we have identified as being totally sold out elsewhere or not released. Maybe this one's maybe not released yet. Anyway, you can't find it anywhere.
This one is sold out. It's going to be exclusive wine club members, and there's just not enough of that. So it's just not available.
We have some. So either hit reply to one of Carl's emails if you'd like some, or get it in one of your mystery packs this week. And like we said, we're all about personalization. So people are already, when they're ordering, putting a little note, hey, I'd love it for it to be all reds. We can probably figure something out. Hey, I really love Pinot Noir, include, an extra, or, whatever it is. So if you want this Legato, just mention it in your order and we'll make sure it's in there. Denis says he's got this one sleeping in his cellar. That is awesome. Jean-Denis Valia. Jean-Denis, sorry. Yay.
So now we're heading into a run of Chardonnay. I mean, to my opinion, this is the grape that we're doing the best in the country. Canada should be known for its Chardonnay. Canada is becoming known for its Chardonnay. Canada has the potential to be one of the greatest Chardonnay producer in the world. Canada is becoming one of the leader in the Chardonnay quality. We have producer like Hidden Bench, like Batchelder, like Malivoire, like Stonebridge, like De Silva, like Meyer. There's so Cave Spring, Leaning Post, Vineland,
Monty Creek with their $23 one.
Painted Rock. I mean, there's so many incredible producer. What's the other one in on the way to Whistler?
Fort Barons.
Fort Barons producing amazing Chardonnay. There's great Chardonnay all over the country. I'm a firm believer that's the cream of the crop of what we do. So now between the number 1 and number 7, I think there's 3 Chardonnay in that top 7. So excuse my French, but I don't give a shit because I think they're some of the best. So if you don't like Chardonnay, change the channel, go somewhere else.
No.
We love Chardonnay here.
And also, be honest, if you hate Chardonnay, what Chardonnays have you tried? Because I used to hate Cab Franc, and then I tried something like 300 Cab Francs, and I found out that, you know what? Yes, there's a bigger percentage of them that I don't like compared to other varietals, but I can't write off the entire varietal. I mean, come on. So what's next? Number 6 is Stonebridge Reserve Cab Franc at 94 plus points.
That 2019 vintage Stonebridge been impressing. Like, I've been very, very, very impressed from Stonebridge since they sent me Chardonnay samples all the way back in May. That was the first thing that opened my eyes on that brand. After that, tasted some of their Cab Franc. We went there this summer. We tasted that botrytis affected Sauvignon Blanc. That absolutely was incredible. They make some. This is a winery to discover. Stonebridge, they're on the uprising. They are fantastic. They make some wonderful wine. So 19 Reserve Cab Franc, $65, 94 plus points. Well-deserved. Number 6 on our top 10 wine this year. Number 5. So now our top 5. This is the cream of the crop of what we've tasted this year. This is the 1% or the 0.5% of what we've tasted, the best of the best. And we start with the 2021 Westcott Block 76 Chardonnay. I mean, Westcott is one of the other one known for their Chardonnay. And Block 76 caught me off guard this year because I'm usually a big fan of their Butler's Grant. But to me, Block 76 outdone Butler's Grant. So it's a big feat because, like, to me, Butler's Grant is one of the best piece of dirt in the country. So Block 76 has a level of minerality. I called it in my note, I believe it's lip smacking minerality with a beautiful acidity. This wine has built to go a long run. This wine has a incredible complexity, and the minerality, the seashell minerality, is absolutely off the chart. So I love the Block 76. So boom. Yeah. So thank you, Daryl. There you go. It's not number 4 now. Number 4, number 4, yes. Painted Rock, Cabernet Sauvignon. Now we're heading to 94 plus again. 2021. I was excited to taste the 2020 Red Icon with our pack of Painted Rock, and I got surprised by the 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. To me, it was the most amazing wine on that pack. Highest score of all. And yeah, my top Cabernet Sauvignon in the country this year by a good solid 1.5. So Painted Rock, known for their big and bold wine. This Cab Sauv, incredible. Complexity, pencil lead, charcoal, dark fruits. This has to stay in the cellar for a couple years. Don't pop that open just yet. If you order the Painted Rock pack, or if you want to order some of them, Painted Rock has put some aside for us. So feel free to order some. Crack one open now, but keep some in the cellar for the future. This will be a gem in 5 years. So Painted Rock 2021, 100% Cab Sauv from Scaha Bench, British Columbia, Okanagan Valley. Number 3, one of the staple of our top 10 every year, one of the best producer in our country, one of the wizard, one of the genius of terroir-driven wine. It's Thomas Batchelder. And this wine to make the list, at least 4 of his wine could have made the list this year. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I'll take only 1 per producer. And we're going with the 2020 Grimsby Hillside Frontier Block Chardonnay. 95 points. It is well-deserved. It's Grimsby. I mean, Grimsby Hillside is one of the most amazing piece of dirt in the country. Thomas is sourcing a couple different blocks. I believe that he has 3 different blocks in Grimsby Hillside that he makes single vineyard, single block. And the Frontier block had the most amazing finesse of all to me. This is elegance. This is a nice reminiscence of Burgundy. The finesse of that wine is unprecedented. So I had the Wismar Foxcroft, who was right on the verge. I also have the Foxcroft now. I had the 2020, the 2021, a couple Pinots who could have been in there, but the Grimsby Hillside Frontier Block had the edge for me. It really, really hit the spot with that salinity, that soil seashell component, but also the finesse of the citrus, of uh, the wild ferment who goes around that, but that backbone of acidity in the middle also very, very impressive. So Thomas Batchelder, once again, you've done it. Absolutely beautiful wine, 95 points, and top three. Now at number two, this is our friend Adnan Aysel at Iceller with what that was the first wine of the year to make that list, and I knew in February when I tasted that wine would last all year on the list. It was the leader in the clubhouse all year long, and I knew this wine would have been in the top five no matter what, because you just know it. Sometimes you open a wine, you need to wait 2 days until it shows the old spectrum. This wine,
which kind of gives you a glimpse of what it's going to age like. They say for every day that it's been open, it's like 1 or 2 years of aging, right? So then we can say to people, this wine is a gem, but it needs 2 years, 4 years, 6 years to really get to that peak, right?
incredible flavor definition, length, depth. The depth is incredible. It feels like you can swim for like a mile deep into that wine and never get lost. There's so much going on, but all in the same time, the texture. I mean, in premium wine, I look for texture. This wine gives me texture all day long. Adnan used new oak, new French oak. He doesn't apologize for that. This matches style. This wines deliver. The vintage speak for itself. The result is absolutely beautiful. 95 plus. We have some of these wines set aside for us. So let us know if there's something you would like. We can make something happen for you. So number two of our top 10 is the 2020 Iceller Wismar Park Syrah. And drum roll. Do we have it? Maybe not. Maybe. Oh. Okay, number one.
Oh, I can do this. Look. Oh, you mean for number one?
(2015) vintage. I mean, this one is just plain and simple special. I mean, every time that I talk about it, I have a hard time to come up with the full definition, because at the end of the day, I always come back with the same thing. This one is just special. I remember Mira's face when she tasted it. I remember how she felt. I remembered every single moment of that day when we picked up the bottle. It was completely impromptu, though. It was not even planned that we're going to get a bottle of that. It's just the owner, Ted Kane, wanted to give us what.
So I got to tell you something. So that is something. Okay, when you taste a wine, that's a wow wine. I mean, let us know in the comments if you've had that experience and you can remember it. It's very rare, but you do, like with this wine, it was like that. I am telling you right now, I am having that experience with this glass. It could have been gone like half an hour ago, but I'm keeping that last sip because I'm so excited about it. But you can see these other wines on the table here are freaking fantastic wines from one of my favorite wineries. And here I am going to this one. And it's that Appassimento from Bellaterra, the new one, the 2020, which makes sense because 2020 was the vintage of the century. So maybe we got something extra special in there. But anyway, keep going. The milestone.
I was just thinking that was not even planned that we're going to get a bottle of that. It's just Ted, after picking up the samples, came out of the tasting room and say, hey, by the way, Carl, come here. I want you to taste that. Just no expectation. Just tell me what you think. He said, I made that wine from the 2015. It's in the cellar, and I think I'm going to release it now. I think this wine is something that I think it's going to be the cream of the crop, is the best wine that we have. And I mean, we came home and we opened that day with we had, was it the beef stew?
Steaks.
I believe.
I thought we had steaks.
We had
Was it
steak.
beef stew? I think we had steak. Anyway, we had something meaty.
Yeah, and we opened that, and I mean, texture-wise, it was so soft, so creamy, so velvety, and I mean, now you
And
know
it was ready to go. It was ready to go. It was love at first sight. It was not one of those wines that you have to. Well, I mean, we gave it some air and stuff, but you know, some wines they're a little shyer. They need a little more time. But this one was like ready to eat you.
Oh yeah, it was like a ripe peach. You know, when you pick the peach up in the orchard and it's soft and you bite into it and it just drool, like it just burst because it was so perfect. It's almost like how that wine was. I mean, this one is just entering his peak. It's going to be at that level for the next 5 years. It's just an incredible, and like I mentioned, texture. To me, texture, it's always the first thing that I look for in a premium wine. And that delivers the texture to me right out of the gate. There's a bright frame of acidity right in the middle of that wine, but there's that ripe fruit, that complexity. There's a minerality after the mid-palate, charcoal-like. It's like it brings a stony, like wet rock, and there's some spice at the very end. This wine has everything. And I was texting with a member in Quebec yesterday because he sent me a picture of the Riverstone Open. That's what he had for Christmas dinner. It was side by side with the 2000 Chateau Calon-Ségur. And Calon-Ségur is one of the Saint-Emilion. Fantastic Bordeaux wine. And a 2000 vintage is one of the top vintage in Bordeaux. And I was like, holy crap. And he also had the Châteauneuf-du-Pape that night. He had the Calon-Ségur, and he also had another left bank and a right bank Bordeaux. And when I said, oh, wow, how was the Riverstone? He said, just better than any of these other wines. So
I did not know this yet.
Yeah, I was texting with Pierre. Pierre had it on Christmas dinner.
Oh my God!
And he asked me. Cool. He said,
"You know what? Here's the difference between you and me. I saw that picture. You showed it to me. I paid no attention to the wines. I was just like, oh, that's nice. They had 5 wines." Or whatever.
No.
Obviously zoomed right in and saw it. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and one of his comments after was, this wine is just starting to get going. And I was like, no shit, Sherlock. I freaking know that. So anyway, this is our number one wine of the year, and so well deserved. I mean, I knew it was the top wine that we've tasted all year. I was hesitant in a sense that, is it fair for me to put a 2015 vintage wine in there? Is it what I want to do? It's $125. Do I go against what I'm preaching? And I'm like, no, you know what I'm doing? It's to revealing the best wine we've tasted this year. So it's just been ready. So no, it has to be part of the top 10, and it's a no-brainer. It's my top wine of the year. So here it is. Sorry for people who say, oh, it's like it's $125, it's not fair, or whatever it can be. This is the top wine that we've tasted this year, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. If you have the chance, if you are willing to purchase one bottle, we can accommodate the one, because at that price, the winery set aside a very small quantity for us. And yeah, so if whatever you want, let us know, and we're going to get that for you.
Yeah.
So here we go. Awesome. That's the top 10. That's our 5 honorable mention. Is our top 3 value wines.
Absolutely. so awesome. Such a
Excellent.
fun year. And holy cow, is 2024 off to a great start with the wines we've tasted so far. Like you said, it's just been a few and a few more tonight with you guys. But wow. And like I said, three reds I freaking love, but I'm savoring this very tiny last sip of this Appassimento 2020 from Bellaterra because holy cow.
Hey, salut. I'm almost done the show. Now you're live with me, and I'm coming to pick you up right away.
That's our kid.
Awesome. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to pick it up. It's our kid is at school and ready to be picked up. So, but this is the breakdown of our top 10 wine of the year. Hope you enjoy listening to that. If you have any question, you want to get your hands on some of these wines, get to the email that we sent today. Let us know what you want. Let us know if you want to be surprised by our mystery pack. We also have a case of the top 2 value wines. And we have that for you. Maverick is coming next week for you. We already have a 94 and 293 points in that. This feature, it's kicking off the new year with the big bang. I mean, these wines, Maverick is just keep getting better. They just keep getting better and pushing it's fantastic. So, stay tuned for next week's offer.
Absolutely. Okay. Daryl's saying, I take 1 of number 1 and 3 of Richard's shards. We can definitely make that happen for you, Daryl. Awesome. Have a good night. Mike, the average wine enthusiast on YouTube. Absolutely. So much fun. More great things coming this week before we feature Maverick 2, because I want to start announcing save the dates for fun events in the next year. Hey?
Absolutely. So, Canadian wine lovers,
stuff coming up.
Carl's Wine Club members, everyone across the country, we'll wish you a great evening and talk to you soon.
Cheers.